The first look, what Matheus Cunha's debut tells us about United's new direction. Picture this. A packed stadium in Stockholm, United fans holding their breath, and a Brazilian with the number 10 on his back, ready to make his first impression in red. After months of speculation and a hefty £62.5 million price tag, Matheus Cunha finally stepped onto the pitch as a Manchester United player. But did he deliver what fans were hoping for? Welcome back to United News, where we break down everything that matters to United supporters. Today, we're diving deep into Cunha's debut against Leeds United and what it means for the future of our beloved club. From fan reactions to legend endorsements, we've got all the details you need to know about our newest star. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's explore whether Cunha is the missing piece United have been searching for. The long road to Old Trafford. Before we talk about what happened in Stockholm, let's remember how we got here. Matheus Cunha wasn't always destined to wear the United shirt. The Brazilian spent years developing his craft, moving from club to club, learning and growing as a player. His time at Wolves was particularly important. Playing in the Premier League week in and week out, Cunha learned what it takes to succeed in English football. He faced the toughest defenders, played in the most demanding conditions, and proved he could handle the pressure. But why did United decide he was worth £62.5 million? What did they see in him that made them activate his release clause? What United saw in Cunha. The numbers from last season tell a compelling story. Cunha scored 15 goals and provided 6 assists in 33 Premier League appearances for Wolves. Those aren't just good numbers. They're impressive numbers for a player at a team that often struggled to create chances. But statistics only tell part of the story. What made Cunha special at Wolves was his ability to make things happen when his team needed it most. He could pick up the ball in tight spaces, drive forward, and create opportunities out of nothing. Ruben Amorim saw these qualities and knew they would fit perfectly into his system. The Portuguese manager likes players who can carry the ball forward and break through defensive lines. Cunha offers exactly that kind of threat. So when the opportunity came to sign him, United didn't hesitate. They activated his release clause and made him one of their key summer signings. The Stockholm stage. Setting the scene. Preseason friendlies are strange games. They don't have the intensity of competitive matches, but they're still important for players trying to make first impressions. For Cunha, this game against Leeds was his chance to show United fans what they could expect from their new number 10. The choice of opponent was interesting too. Leeds United and Manchester United have a fierce rivalry that goes back decades. Even in a friendly match thousands of miles from England, there would still be edge to this contest. Amorim decided to start Cunha in his first game, which showed the manager's confidence in his new signing. Alongside fellow new arrival Diego Leon and the surprising inclusion of Toby Collier, Cunha was given the chance to make an immediate impact. But how did he perform when the spotlight was on him? Breaking down Cunha's 45 minutes. Let's be honest about what we saw in Stockholm. Cunha didn't set the world on fire, but he didn't disappoint either. In 45 minutes on the pitch, he showed glimpses of why United were willing to pay so much money for him. The statistics from his debut paint a picture of a player who was tidy in possession but still finding his feet in a new system. He completed 11 of his 12 passes, giving him a 92% pass completion rate. That's exactly what you want to see from a playmaker, someone who rarely gives the ball away cheaply. His dribbling was less successful, completing just 1 of his 3 attempts. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It shows he was willing to take risks and try to create something special. Sometimes you need to fail a few times before you succeed. The ground duels tell another story. Cunha won 4 of his 9 battles, which shows he's not afraid of the physical side of the game. For someone who's not the biggest player on the pitch, this kind of fighting spirit is encouraging. What impressed many observers was his work rate. Cunha made tackles and interceptions, showing he understands that defending starts from the front. He was also fouled twice, which suggests he was causing problems for the Leeds defense. What the fans saw, social media reacts. Sometimes the best way to judge a performance is to listen to what the fans are saying. And United supporters were mostly positive about what they saw from Cunha in his first appearance. One fan highlighted his ball-carrying ability, saying it was already the best in the team. That's high praise, especially considering United have players like Bruno Fernandes who are known for their ability to drive forward with the ball. Another supporter was excited about Cunha's passing range, comparing him to Paul Pogba. Now, Pogba comparisons can be dangerous, but if Cunha can provide even half of what the Frenchman offered at his best, United fans will be very happy. The connection between Cunha and Rasmus Højlund was another talking point. Fans could see how the Brazilian's creativity could help unlock the young striker's potential. If these two can develop a strong partnership, United's attack could become much more dangerous. But perhaps the most telling comment was from a fan who said Cunha would be instrumental for the club. That's the kind of expectation and excitement that new signings need to embrace. The legend's view, Ronnie Johnson weighs in. When a United legend speaks, fans listen. Ronnie Johnson, who was part of the famous 1998-99 treble-winning team, watched Cunha's debut and came away impressed with what he saw. Johnson particularly liked how Cunha received the ball in tight spaces and then turned to face the goal. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the hardest things to do in modern football. Defenders are so well organized that finding space to turn is incredibly difficult. The Norwegian also praised Cunha's ability to drive at defenders once he had the ball. This is exactly what United have been missing in recent seasons. Players who are willing to take on opponents and create chaos in the final third. Johnson's verdict was clear. He's looking forward to seeing more of Cunha. Coming from someone who played alongside some of United's greatest players, that's a strong endorsement. Fitting into Amorim's system. Understanding how Cunha fits into Ruben Amorim's tactical system is crucial for predicting his success at United. The Portuguese manager likes to play with attacking midfielders who can drop deep to collect the ball and then drive forward to create chances. In the Stockholm game, Cunha played on the left side of the attack, tucked inside of the wingback. This position gave him the freedom to drift across the pitch and find space between the lines. It's a role that suits his skill set perfectly. Amorim's system also requires players who can press aggressively when the team doesn't have the ball. Cunha showed he understands this responsibility, making tackles and interceptions throughout his 45 minutes on the pitch. The early signs suggest that Cunha will fit well into Amorim's plans. But preseason is one thing, the real test will come when the competitive games begin. The price tag pressure. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, that £62.5 million price tag. In the modern transfer market, this kind of money comes with massive expectations. United fans will be hoping to see immediate returns on their investment. The pressure of a big transfer fee can affect different players in different ways. Some thrive under the expectation, while others struggle with the weight of responsibility. How will Cunha handle this pressure? His debut performance suggests he's not overwhelmed by the situation. He played with confidence and wasn't afraid to try ambitious passes or take on defenders. This mental strength will be crucial as the season progresses. But United fans should also be realistic about what to expect. Even the best players need time to adapt to new teams and new systems. Cunha won't solve all of United's problems overnight. Comparing Cunha to previous United signings. It's natural to compare new signings to players who came before them. How does Cunha's debut stack up against other big-money United signings in recent years? Some players, like Bruno Fernandes, made immediate impacts and never looked back. Others, like Antony, showed promise in their early games but struggled to maintain their form. Where will Cunha fit on this spectrum? The early signs are encouraging. Unlike some previous signings who looked lost in their first appearances, Cunha seemed comfortable in the United shirt. He understood his role and executed it well, even if he didn't produce any spectacular moments. What's particularly promising is his work rate and attitude. These are often the best indicators of whether a player will succeed in English football. Cunha showed both in abundance during his debut. The partnership potential. One of the most exciting aspects of Cunha's arrival is the partnerships he could form with other United players. We've already mentioned the potential connection with Højlund, but there are other intriguing possibilities too. His relationship with Bruno Fernandes will be particularly interesting to watch. Both players like to operate in similar areas of the pitch, so they'll need to find ways to complement each other rather than getting in each other's way. The understanding with the wingbacks will also be crucial in Amorim's system. Cunha's ability to drift wide and combine with the overlapping defenders could create all sorts of problems for opposing teams. These partnerships won't develop overnight, but the foundation seems to be there. If Cunha can build strong connections with his teammates, United's attack could become much more fluid and dangerous. What needs to improve? While there was plenty to be positive about in Cunha's debut, there are also areas where he can improve. His dribbling success rate was low, completing just one of his 3 attempts. In the Premier League, he'll need to be more decisive in one-on-one situations. His physical presence could also be stronger. While he won 4 of 9 ground duels, that's still less than half. Against the powerful defenders he'll face week in and week out, Cunha will need to be more dominant in physical battles. The good news is that these are areas that can improve with time and experience. As Cunha gets used to playing with his new teammates and understanding Amorim's system better, his effectiveness should increase. Fan expectations versus reality. Managing expectations is always important when it comes to new signings. United fans are naturally excited about Cunha's arrival, but they also need to be patient as he settles into his new surroundings. The comparison to Paul Pogba, while flattering, also shows how high expectations are. Pogba was a world-class player at his peak, and expecting Cunha to immediately reach that level might be unrealistic. What fans should look for is consistent improvement and positive signs that Cunha is adapting to life at United. If he can build on his debut performance and gradually become more influential, the big transfer fee will start to look like good value. The road ahead. Cunha's debut was just the beginning of what could be a long and successful journey at Manchester United. The early signs are positive, but there's still a lot of work to be done. The remaining preseason games will be crucial for his development. Each match gives him another opportunity to build understanding with his teammates and become more comfortable in Amorim's system. When the Premier League season begins, the real test will start. The intensity will be higher, the opponents will be better organized, and the pressure will be greater. How Cunha handles these challenges will determine whether he becomes a success at United. Looking at the bigger picture, Cunha's arrival is part of a larger project at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim is trying to build a team that can compete at the highest level, and the Brazilian is seen as a key piece of that puzzle. If Cunha can fulfill his potential, he could be the creative spark that United have been missing. His ability to carry the ball forward and create chances for others could transform the team's attacking play. But football is a team sport, and Cunha can't succeed alone. He needs support from his teammates, patience from the fans, and time to develop his understanding of what it means to play for Manchester United. Final thoughts. A promising start. So what should United fans take from Matheus Cunha's debut? The Brazilian showed enough in his 45 minutes against Leeds to suggest that he could be a valuable addition to the squad. His technical ability was clear to see, even if he didn't produce any moments of magic. His work rate and attitude were impressive, and he showed he's not intimidated by the pressure of playing for a club like United. The endorsement from Ronnie Johnson carries weight, and the positive fan reaction suggests that supporters are ready to embrace their new number 10. Of course, it's important to remember that this was just one game, and it was a preseason friendly at that. The real tests will come when United face top-quality opposition in competitive matches. But for now, United fans can feel optimistic about their new signing. Cunha has made a decent first impression, and there's every reason to believe he can build on this foundation. The £62.5 million looks like money well spent if Cunha can develop into the creative force United need. His debut was a promising start to what could be a very exciting chapter in his career. What did you think of Cunha's performance? Are you excited about what he could bring to United's attack? Do you think he's worth the big transfer fee? Share your thoughts with the United news community and let us know what you expect from our new Brazilian star. The journey has just begun, but the early signs are encouraging. Here's hoping Cunha's debut is the first of many memorable performances in a United shirt.